This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn more about Boss Rush Media's family of podcasts, head on over to bossrushmedia.com or patreon.com/bossrushmedia. Thanks for your continued support. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Hey, what's poppin'?
Hi, LeRon.
Hey, Corey.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Just all right.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, you know what? I'm better than all right. Things are okay this week.
That's better.
You know, like it was a half-ass holiday, on Monday and stuff like that, which I took advantage of. I didn't do a lot of work on Monday, and Tuesday and Wednesday was kind of like catch-up days. Like Wednesday, like shit hit the fan as far as work is concerned. Nothing bad for me, just stuff that kept me busy all damn day. But yeah, like my week's okay. My week's been alright.
Nice.
I helped a friend upgrade his computer, and he is so happy. I think he's gonna name his firstborn son after me now.
Oh wow!
No, dude is super happy. It's been a while since I've seen someone that happy about their computer performance. It's been a while.
Speaking of performance, also joining us here is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
Performance. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've been performing. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. That just sounded weird. Anyway, hi.
Hi, I'm glad you can hear me now.
I know, and see you. That was so weird.
Oh, man. Speaking of weird, also joining us is PK Power, Pat Klein.
Yeah, I feel weird, all right.
Yeah.
Let's get weird.
Yeah. Weird.
Now, I got vaccinated for a flu vaccination on Monday. I've been feeling tired for the last few days.
It's fair.
But you know what? Normally this one knocks me out, like, for a day. I haven't actually felt knocked out, like, absolutely horrible. So I feel like each year I'm just getting a little bit better.
Nice. I don't remember the last time I got a flu shot, to be honest. I don't think I ever have gotten a flu shot.
Work was offering a clinic, so...
You're lying. You've gotten a flu shot at some point.
I'm not lying, unless it was in my last COVID shot. My booster.
Still need to get that one, too.
Yeah. That new strain is coming.
Yep.
So, gotta protect. Oh, man. Anyways, let's talk about games. Let's talk about what we've been playing. I'm going to go first, because mine's awfully short.
Oh, I bet you mine's shorter.
Okay, you can start.
No, mine's the shortest. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, okay, never mind. I wasn't trying to be rude, Corey, because my thing is I unfortunately did not play any games.
Oh,
That's
then
sad.
you and I tie.
You're busy being productive, Stephanie. You have a novel to finish.
Well, it was actually quiet. Gosh, sorry. The Russian cat was harassing my son.
She broke it.
Musa.
The cat did not like that.
No.
Oh no.
Woo!
Oh man, that was funny. That was good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
So good. She's
broken
So
again.
good she crashed.
And now there she is. Nope. Gone. Oh man. You keep disappearing.
You use too much energy between you and the computer.
Whatever you just threw it, like as soon as you threw it, you disappeared. You're like,
Oh man.
Oh man. Anyways, so
Yeah, I'm so sorry to kind of ruin the flow of this already. So I did not play anything. It was my son's birthday, and I had like a whole bunch of shenanigans and things planned out and stuff. So, but I will be sure to catch up soon.
yeah, it's not like there's anything coming out soon or anything, so you're fine.
No, this week maybe.
Yeah, I was like, maybe not this week, but
Forza came out this week.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm not really in that big of a hurry for Forza.
Oh, I downloaded it because it was on Game Pass, but I did not play it. So, anyways, LeRon, what are you playing?
The same stuff I've been playing, so nothing new to report. Well, actually, I lie because
Liar.
because I've got a couple of things in the pipe that I'm actually messing around with right now that I can't talk about on the show.
Whoa.
Because we've been told to shush about it.
Yeah.
until a certain date.
Yep.
And then I had to return a game because you know what? I think I bitch about this at least once a quarter. Stop releasing games that are not ready to go. Stop that shit.
But you can patch them.
I'm talking to you, Square Enix, letting that company like float. Actually, you know what? I'm sure Square Enix basically forced them to put out what they had.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, I'm talking about Front Mission 2 remake. And everybody knows, like tracking back to earlier this year when they were making all these announcements about the Front Mission games being remade and coming to the West. I was all for that because like I'm a big Front Mission fan, and like Front Mission 1, 2, and Alternative never came to the United States. So Front Mission 1 was a good port. You know what? Actually, you know they did a pretty good job considering that it was already available in the States on the Nintendo DS. You know, so the only way to go was up from there. But you know, like all they had to do is just repeat what they did with Front Mission 1 for Front Mission 2 remake, and they'd been all right. But you guys can go online and check it out. Like there's reports all over the place about how like it looks like it was Google translated for the dialogue and text, and like the menu options are lacking. You know, considering that this is the same team that actually did Front Mission 1 remake, so you know, I was like, you know what, I've got better things to spend $40 on than this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, good thing it's not a $70 game, or you would have been really upset.
Sure would have. Here's looking at you, Insomniac and Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Man.
I haven't heard bad things about it.
Yeah, nobody's heard bad things about it, and let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
Got it. I got it. Okay.
Well, good luck with that, LeRon. I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder.
Yeah, so
I wonder if that like you said, that like publicly traded companies need to get their stuff out because of their investors. I don't know if it, because that first port was what, it was pretty decent, right? The first port or remake,
it was good.
And it's the
It's all right.
same
It was
team.
good. It was. Yeah, it was so good. I went back and got the PC version so I could play it on the ROG Ally.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
What?
That the same team made like a pretty decent version and then a terrible version.
Yeah, like it makes zero sense, and I just don't want to sound like that lunatic that's always saying the same stuff, every freaking episode. But I mean, like, this is how us as gamers get gaslit, because like developers and publishers do the same shit to us over and over and over again. Like they trot out something, and yeah, I get it. Like they could patch it, but guess what? Like patching something this big, when people drop down like MSRP for the game, that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I can like if it's minor stuff, like, oh, like this thing is broken, like you won't be able to make it past the second boss fight, yeah, it's something you probably missed in QA, but I guarantee you, like everyone had to look at like the text boxes and be like, oh, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to.
Yeah, man,
I feel like this game came out too fast.
Well, it was supposed to come out like 6 months ago.
It was supposed. Yes, it was. Yeah, exactly.
First one only came out like last year, right?
Yeah, I think
wait.
Yeah, the first remake only came.
I think the first one came out last fall, like September or something. I want to say
Front Mission 1, Front Mission First remake. Hold on, I'm about to find out because I feel like I just started playing that game this year. The Front Mission First remake. Okay, it was released November 2022.
Okay.
And Front Mission 2 was announced for June. Because it was in the same Nintendo Direct that said like that Front Mission was supposed to be out in June itself. Like I remember this now because like I was with you guys, Stephanie and Corey, when we were watching the Nintendo Direct for E3 season last year, when all that shit came out and Front Mission was on there, and I lost my mind. And then they were like, yeah, and months after Front Mission 1 remake comes out, Front Mission 2 will be out. So they were all supposed to have been out last year. They were both supposed to be out last year, but
I
so
just
Front
feel
Mission
though
was
that Front Mission 2, since it's never been out in the West, they could not possibly have had the good script for that yet. Like that's dialogue. Those games have dialogue in it. So it should have taken some more time.
I know because I attempted to play the Japanese only version of those games back in the day on PS1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I can't do this.
I mean, they weren't ever translated before though. Like,
no, like I looked. I honestly looked. There's no no one attempted to make like even like a jailbroken like English patch for the game.
And like nobody proofread any of this, like, or was it like, did they translate it in a font and then they changed fonts that doesn't have special characters, or like, you know what I mean? Like what's going on here? This is ridiculous.
I sent you guys the link. I mean, yeah, like you guys ridiculed me. You're like, yeah, don't trust anything from Yahoo News, but at the same time, like I went to Twitter right after this to look to see what was going on, and man, like everybody had stuff to say.
It looked like a first draft from Japanese to English. The first one where it's like the literal translation before you have to polish it and turn it into actual English.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have us weeaboos used to have a term for this. It's called English.
I'm not sure we're allowed to say that anymore.
No.
What, English or weeaboos?
Yeah.
He didn't even.
I mean, anyways, I'm stepping out of this conversation before it even starts. I don't want to be canceled.
All of it. Yeah. So yeah, that's how my weekend gaming's going. I had to return something. You know what? I never return games. So congratulations, Square Enix. You finally broke me.
Jeez. Oh man, Square, man. They're
like shit. I didn't trade. Well, I bought Mass Effect Andromeda for the PC, so I just put up with it.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's my turn. Pat, you can go last because you always say a lot and more intricate with your description of what you played. So, I finished Alan Wake Remastered's DLC this weekend.
Better than the game?
Dude, this whole game just makes me even less interested to play too. Like, not that I was, whatever. It's just, man, this game was so... I don't know.
You know what? Maybe you should play American Nightmare and then we'll reconvene again.
No, I'm no longer interested in finding out anything else about this world. I don't care. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't uninstall it fast enough. This game broke my soul, I think. Here's the thing. The story, okay. Twin Peaks bullshit. I don't care for it. Also, there's a reason why Twin Peaks only got 2 seasons. The gameplay was
this is how we get canceled. Good. Twin Peaks people are gonna come.
Good, get out of here.
Man, you might as well you might as well have insulted the Rick and Morty crowd just now.
Mm-hmm. Good. Their animation
is like those guys that forced McDonald's to bring back the freaking teriyaki sauce.
Szechuan.
Whatever. Oh, Szechuan, my bad.
Whatever.
Oh, we're about to get canceled now because I got that shit wrong.
Yeah, I just not into it at all. I thought, man, when you have to like fight a TV, that's so stupid.
But the TV wants to kill you.
When you say it like that, oh my god, it sounds bad.
I'm a staticky TV with weird faces, and I'm going to throw TVs and barrels at you. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, I did a roll to dodge the barrel. You're right.
I'm okay with that, like some weirdness like that if used wisely and sparingly. Like if I have to fight off more vibrating barrels and tractors in Alan Wake 2, then maybe I might not be so happy. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean the story wasn't even the part that I hated the most. So,
Well, you've made it very clear on several shows that you do not
I
like Alan
have.
Wake.
Oh, you should hear my POW block rant from like 3 weeks
I
ago.
heard it, and my ears were bleeding. Like
And that was him trying to drive traffic to Pow Block. That don't oblige him.
I also played another chapter of Plague Tale Innocence because I kind of put it down to play other book club games. No news there. It's still great. I love that game. And then I've also been playing Spider-Man Remastered, which I am enjoying much more than I did the first time around.
Good.
I still don't think it's PlayStation's best game, and a lot of the times I do feel like I've played this game before, but the production values are obviously off the charts, and the swinging still feels good. And the only thing I'm not liking about it, obviously, which everybody's complained about these anyway, but the Mary Jane stealth missions are just. I'm playing Spider-Man. I didn't play Detective Simulator starring Mary Jane, right? I want to play as Spider-Man. So, but other than that, like, I don't have any real qualms with it. I do like it.
Did you think the puddles were okay?
In the remaster, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
No puddle gate in PS5 version.
Okay, the puddles didn't look smaller.
Nope.
No. Okay.
It still hurts my hands though. The controller hurts my hands. I have to stop playing like once every hour or so and like stretch my hands out because they hurt so bad.
Gotta get them calluses, bro. Gotta get that controller to mold into your hand.
They just no. It's not. It's
Look
not
at them
bad.
soft little baby hands. Make them gamer hands.
It's the way my hands are positioned on the controller. Like the two sticks at the bottom really bothers my hands, and like it hurts my thumb because I'm not used to the two sticks at the bottom. I'm used to the staggered, right? And I don't. The controller just the shape of the controller overall is just it's shaped weird, and like my wrists. I feel like my wrists are like pointing in when I'm holding the controller, and my wrists hurt. But yeah,
the jokes write themselves.
Yeah, But that's all I've been playing. I'm playing Spider-Man Remastered for the Spider-Man 2 book club, so I'm gonna play Miles Morales after it.
Once you're done with Spider-Man, you gotta do the city that sleeps at, or the city sleeps. No.
Oh, I'll do the DLC.
Yeah.
The Black Cat and the Silver Sable one. There's 3 of them, I think. But
yep, it's all part of the same story.
Yeah.
How far are you in the
I just my campaign percentage says 34%. I'm at the mission. I'm at the second Mary Jane stealth mission. I'm actually like in the middle of it right now, where Peter goes over to her apartment for dinner or something, and then she starts telling a story, and then it fades to black and goes to her stealth mission in a warehouse where all these guys have guns, and you have to knock over boxes to distract them, or boxes or whatever. I do find it interesting that, like, if you didn't know any of the spoilers, like the way they position Octavius in this is like you would never know he was going to become Doc Ock ever.
That's true.
Yeah. Like he seems like a good guy, and it almost seems like, I guess spoilers for a 5-year-old game at this point, but like it almost seems like he's going to turn into Doc Ock to kill Osborn, and not necessarily like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
you're watching a man at his breaking point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're at the point now where you probably heard that like Octavius and Osborn were partner scientists and stuff like that. Yeah.
And you probably got to the point where Osborn visited the lab, right?
Oh yeah, that was before the whole that was before learning they were friends.
Yeah, that's like the second time you go to the lab, like 2 or 3 hours in.
Yeah.
So, but I'm enjoying it. I like looking for the backpacks.
Me
I
too.
thought,
Me too. I've been running around the city. Actually, I've been running around the city doing the backpacks as well as like taking pictures of all the landmarks.
yeah, the landmarks and the cat bags from Black Cat.
I like the
Also,
environmental
Oh yeah,
missions.
the
I
yeah.
what?
thought the
Oh, it's
the
cool.
environmental
You and I are
missions.
playing a game at the same
We
time.
are. I might finish before you though, LeRon.
You probably will.
Mhm.
Mm,
You probably
Yeah.
will.
yeah.
The ones I liked were those little research labs that Harry had on top of various buildings,
Oh, where you
and
have to
Those are
like
you
cool
sprint
go.
through the
too.
smoke and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those are cool too, but they feel like glorified fetch quests.
Yeah, it was a nice little twist on the fetch quest. Like go run around the smog, or
Hmm.
go over the lake so you're spreading vitamins for the fish.
Yo, that one where like the radio frequencies fuck you up. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, that was a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, or
Uh,
outrunning the lightning.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
That's getting you ready. That's getting you ready for something else. I can tell you that.
I also like how they kind of told Miles' origin story in this game. So like when Miles Morales comes out, you just like can jump in, assumingly.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're already past it.
Hmm. Yeah. I think out of all the characters I've met so far, Mr. Negative is actually like one of the more boring characters. I feel like they put him in there so they could have henchmen with weapons that aren't just guns or crowbars.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's all I've been playing. So Pat, it's your turn.
All right. Let's get on to the meat of these games. The big ones.
The
Let's
meaty
go with
ones.
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Mm.
The latest Assassin's Creed game to have come out in the last 3 years. That's not an expansion, but to be perfectly honest, it still feels like an expansion to Valhalla. Like the world, you can definitely tell they use the exact same engine for Valhalla as
Yeah.
they do with Mirage.
Yeah.
Like Mirage just feels like a very small Valhalla
Yeah. Well,
in
it was
that
originally
regard.
designed as an expansion to Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, this is getting kind of big. We should just sell it as its own game.
Yeah. And I can respect that. Like I kind of wish they didn't sell it as like a completely separate game. Like they could have maybe sold it like a half sequel,
Hmm.
like the Uncharted Among Thieves one. Was it? Is it called Among
Lost
Thieves?
Legacy.
Lost
Lost
Legacy. Thank
Legacy.
you. Yeah. So like, but so far it's all right. It definitely brings back some of the more uh older style of Assassin's Creed, with the more focused on uh the city and kind of building up clues to learn about the target that you're going to assassinate. The city of Baghdad itself, it's not the prettiest city that Assassin's Creed has made. Like you're gonna see a lot of browns in this.
Yeah. Well, it's in Baghdad, right? So
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of sandy browns color schemes going on, and a lot of sand that seems to kind of cover up the long distance view.
mhm.
Um, and Baghdad is probably only about it's probably only like 25% of the map, to be perfectly honest. The rest is just desert.
Yeah.
So, like other cities have been bigger in the game. It's not to say that they don't compact Baghdad very well. It's very reminiscent of like Venice from
Hmm.
Assassin's Creed 2, where the street corridors are twisty and small, and everything's kind of compact in there. It just doesn't reach the heights as some of the other Assassin's Creed games have gotten. Like most places are pretty vertically, like they're not that tall.
Hmm. Some of the gameplay I've watched kind of reminds me a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3, actually, because Assassin's Creed 3 was the same way, where because like colonial America, you're not going to build
Yeah.
giant buildings to. I mean,
Yeah.
their whole thing was Connor traveling through the trees and like on top of colonial houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately, Baghdad's sand. Like, it's not even like mountainous sand. It's sand.
Hmm.
Um, I will, and the combat, like I understand that they wanted Basim to. He's not a berserker, Viking, or demigod, um, Greek, Spartan. But like, I feel like the combat just isn't that good. And
It's the wait and parry and then counterattack kind of style, right?
basically,
Yeah.
yeah, like the bad guy is going to do one of two attacks. He's either going to do a shiny white attack or a flashy red attack.
Hmm.
The red attack you're supposed to dodge because you can't parry it, but you can parry a white attack. And if you do that, then you have a chance to do an insta kill
Mhm.
on them. But the problem is, it's completely random what attack the person's going to do, or they do mostly red. So the white, like you find yourself dodging will keep you safe, but it's not going to get you that open. And if you try to like whittle away just by attacking, they're going to block after like the second or third hit, and the amount of life that you take out of them before that just it's pitiful. It's not a whole lot. You're
Mhm.
gonna be doing a dance with them for like at least a good minute before you can finally kill them, unless you parry and do the insta kill.
Yeah.
Though I will say, you can take your daggers and you can attack like their legs, especially with the people who have armor. If you attack their legs, they fall, and then you can do a parry or do a instant death attack. But you also only get like a couple knives. I think you start out with 4, and then you can like build up your slot to 6. So you can't really just use knives constantly.
Yeah. Did you play the end of Valhalla? I mean, did you finish Valhalla?
Yep.
And did you play any of the DLC?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
So
like,
that's another
isn't
thing.
isn't
Basim
yeah. Sorry.
is Basim, the spoil of Valhalla, is the antagonist of Valhalla. He's
Mhm.
the final boss. And I just find it kind of weird that you're going into this story, especially if you've gone into the story with playing Valhalla. You know exactly how the story's going to turn around.
Yeah.
Somewhere around the line, Basim's going to have to snap and go against the order.
Mhm.
Or at least you assume. And then like a lot of the other characters, pretty much all the characters so far have been fairly unlikable. Like his mentor Roshan,
Mhm.
like she is just a bitch. She's got a great voice to go with it though, but I forget who's playing her. She's a pretty famous French actress. No, French French Arab, I think,
Yeah.
actress.
If you said her name, I would recognize it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. She was in
I
all the marketing and stuff too. So
Yeah, because she's definitely got that deep, raspy, baritonish voice.
mhm.
That's very unusual, like a chain smoker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, AKA somebody who probably smoked a pack a day or more for her entire life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like it's one of the cool things about this game though is that it does take a fairly non-linear approach. Like once you get past your first assassination, the game kind of is like, okay, we got bureaus here, here, and here. Go check them out and do these missions any way you want. And the missions kind of pop up like a corkboard style. Like you have an objective, you don't know what your objective is, so it has little side missions circling around that objective, so that you can find clues to figure out like who is this order member and where can you find them so that you can like assassinate them.
Mhm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But right now, it's not my favorite Assassin's Creed, but it's not a horrible Assassin's Creed.
Hmm.
It gives people what they want with the more compact approach, but it's done using the system of the newer games. So more of an RPG style, um, and just with more open exploration.
Do you think this would be a good first Assassin's Creed for me?
Um,
Sounds like it's gonna bore you to tears.
Oh yeah.
mm,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of story. I mean,
Yeah.
that you would be so behind on the story stuff.
In
I
terms of,
think.
I feel like they're not really going to dive too deep into the story. They're just the game kind of begins briefly with William Miles is the the father of the
Yeah, it's
main protagonist. I thought his name was William.
I think it is
Yeah,
Dr. William Miles. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Dr. William Miles. It kind of be like, all right, this wasn't. We originally said we don't know anything about this guy. The truth is, this is his story,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, so in that regard, you don't have to know too much about the story of Basim or Assassin's Creed, but I feel like Assassin's Creed 2 or Black Flag would be probably the most fun out of any of the Assassin's
Okay.
Creed, or even Syndicate was one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I kind of want to stay away from like the super long ones. I just don't
Yeah.
think it would be for me.
Also, like Pat said, like Black Flag, Unity, and Syndicate, I would say even Unity or even Rogue maybe, but those three in particular don't really have any heavy connections to the story right now. Like there's stuff that if you pay attention to the story, you'll pick up on, and like the the how the gods turn themselves into digital figures or whatever. But like other than that, like Black Flag is my favorite Assassin's Creed. Well,
That's
second favorite.
pirate themed.
Yeah. Uh, I guess second favorite because Odyssey is probably my favorite one now. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna play one of the older ones, I would suggest that. Or I think you could probably jump into Origins.
Okay.
As like Origins is like a really good jump on point, but it's also like 70 hours long.
Yeah, that's one of the long ones.
Yeah.
But in terms of fun, like if you want a fun assassin, it's Ezio for number 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's Edward from from Black Flag, and it's the two assassins.
It's
It's Ivy or Evie is the female. I'm trying to remember
are
what
you
the
talking
hell.
about Syndicate?
Yeah, Syndicate.
Isn't it Jacob or something like that?
It might be Jacob. Yeah, those guys are fun too. Like those are the fun assassins and the ones that don't get
Okay.
It
too
is Jacob.
depressing.
Yes. Can't believe I remembered that. Jacob and
And
Evie Fry.
yeah, the nice thing about Syndicate is that it's two assassins. You got one that's more of a brawler, and then the other one that's more of an assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Plus, there's trains
Yeah,
because it takes place during the Industrial Revolution in England, so it's really
I
cool.
love that setting too.
I know it's really cool. That's the whole city layout is so
and
cool.
It's got a grappling hook.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I'm sold.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Syndicate's great.
Syndicate is awesome.
I should play it again.
I want to play it too. Well, I am playing another 2. I'm playing Detective Pikachu Returns, which is the second of the Detective Pikachu series. This one is on the Switch. The first one was on the Nintendo 3DS. I don't remember if the first one was translated, like the actual voices were in English, but this one actually has. They were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was trying to see who the original voice actor for the Pikachu was, because the person they got for the sequel is also the voice of Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon.
Hmm.
And he's actually been popping up in a lot of things lately.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Detective Pikachu? Because I'm hearing a lot of people saying they are disappointed in it.
I mean, it's simple. I from what I understood the reviews, the game gets kind of darker later on, and so like people question who the hell this game was made for.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's a simple narrative walking simulation with like logic questions. Like the first case is obviously very simple. It's like, okay, once you gather your clues, you can go through a deduction process, which also kind of looks like a cork board with different blocks. And then when you solve all your deductions, you kind of solve the case. But it'll be like, oh, how did all the Pokemon fall asleep? Was it this choice, that choice, or this other choice? And it's like, well, according to the clue, it was this one right here. And it's like, good job. So, like, the game's not going to, like, completely, like, puzzle you. It doesn't come off as twisty like a Phoenix Wright or a Danganronpa could. So far it's been pretty simple, but it's cool seeing the Pokemon models, living together with the humans, and then kind of getting what the Pokemon's actual opinions are, because Pikachu can talk to them, so you understand what they're actually saying. Well, your characters don't. Pikachu does, and your character is the only one who understands Pikachu. Everyone else just hears Pika Pika. Um, but I think one of the new features in this is that you can get another partner Pokemon during various cases to do some, kind of help you out with the cases. Like in the first case, you can get Growlithe to go around and like sniff, to kind of follow like scents and stuff. And it's cute because Pikachu's riding on the back of Growlithe, and it looks fucking adorable. And then like everyone's like, oh, look at them, you guys are such great friends. And then Growlithe feels happy because she's being helpful, and the story's cute. The voice actor for Pikachu is great. The other voice actors not so much. And it's kind of funny, they do make reference to the movie as well.
Yeah, I heard
and they're
that.
like, well, and they're like, but the story didn't actually happen. Like they just is like, but the story in the movie isn't what happened in the actual events. It's like, yeah, everyone has their own takes on this. So it's kind of like, yes, we have a Detective Pikachu movie. No, it doesn't necessarily follow the game. But I think still the main plot points of the movie is going to be what happens in the game. Like it felt like that at the end of the first one, and it feels like it's still kind of going in that direction. If you've seen the movie, otherwise I'm not spoiling it. But it's cute. It's not like anything that's going to blow your mind, but it's colorful, and like if you're just looking for something, like I play it before I go to bed. It's just something chill for me. It's a good, nice, chill game.
Yeah, it's not a LeRon game.
Yeah.
Sounds exactly like a LeRon game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, maybe I'll help you go to bed even faster.
Actually, I don't honestly I don't gravitate towards walking sims the way y'all do.
I like a good story, and I like the visual novels where you have a little more interaction with the story, whether it be like through logic mechanics like the Phoenix Wrights or the Danganronpas. So.
I mean, the visual novels that get me are like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, or the what's the Life is Strange.
Yeah, it's still more interaction based. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So those are the two main games. Other than that, I am playing a creepy game right now for spoopy season. Yomawari Night Alone, which is the very first of the Yomawari series, which is a cute looking, like, it takes place in a nighttime, like, Japanese rural setting. And you play as this little girl with a big ribbon. Her head is about 2 times larger than her body. One of those cute little anime characters. But then you're being chased around by some very ghastly looking ghouls that are haunting the street. Like, guys with bandages, bloody bandages wrapped around their head with nails, sticking out of all ends, or just literal ears all together. Just a big old pile of ears that listens to you. Or a screaming white, white dressed ring-ish kind of female ghost that chases you. Or even the fun ones that just come running at you just from the middle of the street, and you have like either like a half second to like move away, otherwise they kill you.
I don't know if I like that.
And yeah, it's no. They're kind of creepy, and you're gonna die a lot in this game. But like, and after the first few deaths, it just kind of grows in the menu because it's like a big old blood splatter on the screen. But then your consequences, you just start right back at your house again, and whatever you uncovered on the map is uncovered. Any items that you got are in your inventory. Like there's no real like loss other than like a loss of wherever you're going. You just have to get back there again.
Huh.
So, it's you have to learn how the ghost moves or what the ghosts are attracted to. One was like a rock with a face on it, and the rock was attracted to light, so unable to get around them, you go around without your flashlight on, and then you can walk around the rocks. Or you take a match and you light that and you throw it and the rocks chase the match. It's a very interesting puzzle. Like it's exploring the rural town. The story is that you come home on a walk without your dog, and your sister is like, "Where's the dog?" But you don't know. In your mind, you don't know what happened to the dog, even though you see what happens to the dog, like right in the beginning of the game. And so your older sister goes out and searches for that. She doesn't come home, so now you have to go search for the dog and the older sister in this crazy like nighttime where all the ghosts out there are just out to get you. It's cute.
Cool.
And creepy.
Creepy.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm working on Oxenfree 2, which we'll talk about on another day.
Yeah.
But like just high level, how is your impression of Oxenfree 2 for it now?
It's getting better. It was a slow start for me. I didn't understand quite what was going on to begin with, or who the characters was, and I feel like that may have been because I didn't play 1. So I don't know if like I have an advantage or disadvantage that because I'd never played the first one.
I would say you have an advantage, in my personal opinion.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think the game might be better for you if you don't play 1. Because like I said, not to spoil anything for you, Pat, but like the way like the third act of this game kind of ruins 1 a little bit for me.
Yeah, 1 in general, I'm sorry, I'm rehashing conversation. I'll make this a one-liner. 1 in general, I feel is the better game. But if you're playing 2, maybe it's for the best that you haven't played 1.
Yeah.
During this playthrough.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I'm at the part where you're heading back to the community center to stop the other group from disrupting what you're doing. So I feel like I'm getting pretty close to the end. But I don't know. I will say some of those side characters though are pretty cool. Like I like Nick the fisherman.
Yeah.
Like every time I check the radio after like every major event, I check the radio to see if there's something I can talk to Nick about and just kind of hear like what's going on his adventure.
Good. I can't wait to talk about that more. Awesome.
But yeah,
man,
it's a decent game. Like I didn't go into this game with much expectation, but like it's slowly have been like getting better for me. So,
well, we'll be talking about it on Video Game Book Club. We got to figure out when we're recording that, by the way.
Well, we're recording
Resident Evil.
No.
Resident Evil.
Yes. I was like, no, yes, no, yes.
We're doing that one later this week, so my guess is Oxenfree is probably the week after.
Probably. Well, yeah, we got to figure that out.
We'll figure it out at a later time.
Yeah.
Yep.
At a later time.
Because we got more fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Who says this is fun? Well,
I can tell you 5 people who realized that there wasn't as fun as they thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So tonight's one of our topics is that French police arrest 5 former Ubisoft executives for alleged sexual assault. And then the other part of this is that a former Bungie HR employee is suing the company for wrongful termination for reporting racial bias.
Oh my gosh.
And kind of the overall topic is like, why LeRon, you actually brought this topic to our attention, and it's like, why why is the video game industry so shitty? Pretty much. That's not, you worded it way more elegantly, but that's how I'm wording it, because that's how I feel.
Hey, I like the paraphrasing.
You're
though.
welcome.
I will give you the answer in 2 words. No, 3 words. Old white people.
Wait, what did I say specifically? Hold on, let me
It's
let
in
me look
It's
it
in
up.
our text chat somewhere.
Yeah, no. I'm looking for it right now.
Old white males. Sorry, not white people. Old white males.
That's not what I said. I did not say that.
I said that.
And I can probably say that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's so the Bungie thing, for those who don't know, we talked about it last week on my Destiny podcast, but so basically what happened was this woman was man, I kind of forget the whole, like, the big part of the story, but like she was basically like having to like check in on this, like, a black employee, and she, like, this was happening over like a few months, and like all the time, way more than like the other employees, and apparently she reported it a couple times, and she was let go without her knowledge, first of all. Like, she was, removed from the company for without her being known. Like, she was supposed to sign something to say that she was, resigning or something, and apparently she never signed anything, and now she's suing the company for wrongful termination because she reported a race issue in one of the departments. Now, I'm not saying it's all of Bungie. It's definitely probably just this one little section, although I'm quite sure this probably happens everywhere. Plus, when you're a company of like 1,000+ people, I'm sure you can't weed out all the bad eggs. But this was a pretty big deal because Bungie is really into, like, their social messaging is always like, we're here for everyone. We accept everyone for who they are and everything. And they also got ripped apart for using the term Latinx during the Hispanic Heritage Month, Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month, because Latin people don't like to be called that. And
this is new to me.
Oh, dude, every Hispanic person I know hates being called that.
So it's actual Hispanic people saying that they hate it. It's not white people saying that Hispanic people hate it, because there's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Interesting.
this is totally new to me. I did not know anything about that.
No, they don't like the word Latinx.
Yeah, they're
Latinx. Oh.
Yeah.
Latinx.
Why though?
They
I need extrapolation on this,
because Latin is the universal term for that, and they're claiming that, like, this is just white culture trying to enforce something on them, and they just don't like it. They hate it, actually.
Interesting.
Only, like, the statistics that were put out during this report were 3% of all Hispanic or Latin people like being called Latinx.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna question it anymore, because like I don't want to be the person of color that's coming off insensitive.
Yeah. So
like
they're like,
I don't know. I guess it's like black people that would prefer to be called Black American than African American.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the Black American crowd.
Yeah. Not every black person is an African American. The Caribbeans tend to be also very dark skinned.
What if you're black in Canada?
Canadian.
Canadian.
It's like, don't call me African American. I am Canadian.
But yeah, I mean, so the just to get back to the kind of crown of the story, I guess.
So hold on a second. Okay, so the HR manager is suing for a wrongful termination after she reported a potential racial bias.
She wasn't the HR manager. She worked in HR and was removed by her superior. So that's the crux of that story. again, there's like a huge article on like Video Games Chronicle about all this, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. The IGN article kind of sums it up pretty
yeah,
well.
there was a pretty good one on there too.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not quite understanding. Like, she was following an investigation.
No, she was supposed to like check in on this person who happened to be black. Like her, like she was asked to do this, but asked repeatedly and way more than
That's
anybody
right.
else in the department.
The article I read basically summed this up. It was racial profiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key thing we're missing here was racial profiling.
So she was asked to do
Which
this by
any-
someone else, but she's the one that gets fired for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and that's the bullshit part.
Yeah. Bungie is doing a quote unquote internal investigation because they have to. You know, they have to say that. Anytime anybody says they're doing an internal investigation, I kind of question that because Ubisoft also said they did one and 5 people got arrested last week. So
yeah,
didn't they get those people weren't part of the company though anymore, right? Like
a lot of them got some of them left on their own. Some of them left, like some of them resigned. 2 of them got fired. None of them are with the company anymore. But yeah.
Boy, but the long arm of the law got their asses though.
Yeah, Jesus.
I almost feel like this is a little bit of clickbaiting, just due to the fact it's like, oh hey, by the way, these people who don't work here anymore that were under investigation.
Well, the title does say 5 former Ubisoft executives, so
people are gonna skip over former.
I know. People already have, but it's just.
I swear all the news
look!
out there. It wasn't like a slow news week, so all the news was out there, and like this is what they land on.
Mm-hmm.
So just for the audience to know, I had to step away to use the banyo, and as soon as I got back, I see Pat going, "Look!"
Like the meme. You know, that's the meme that's like, look over there. Yeah, look! It's a kitty.
Yeah,
beautiful kitty named Zelda.
The one thing that I'm gonna to go in on with this whole with the whole Ubisoft thing is like there are reports of sexual assault in this one.
Yeah.
And I should have abbreviated that SA because I think that will demonetize the video.
Well, we're not monetized anyway. We don't have enough subs, so.
But yeah, but the fact that that's what stuck out to me the other day when I actually sent the link up to you guys. I was like, we heard about sexual harassment and misconduct. We did not hear anything about sexual assault.
I mean, I don't know if it's I think a lot of the sexual harassments have always been also about inappropriate touching. I feel like that might be where
inappropriate touching does it can
assault
is
whenever you actually touch. Yeah. So
also, we don't know if the laws in France are similar or different, if they're more aggressive, right?
I mean, these are the people that say croissant like they hate it.
Yeah, croissant.
Croissant.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this stuff just keeps happening, and
no. This stuff has been happening. It's just now coming to light.
That's what I'm saying.
We really have to thank the Me Too movement for this stuff.
I meant in general. Like this stuff just keeps happening at all these studios. It's like, I mean, remember the Riot stuff a few years ago, and the one PlayStation executive got arrested for child trafficking and child pornography. Like I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago at this point. Like this stuff just keeps happening. Why are people so creepy? Get him out of here.
No, it's like
it's not just the video game industry.
I know.
It's like this is literally everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we take like a lot of steps back and look at it from like 100,000 feet view or something, or whatever the phrasing is like, I understand. There's so much access, whether it's X-rated viewings online to like adult consent or or hookup apps. Like, none of y'all can get your rocks off in a normal, healthy way, and it just has to bleed into the. I don't know. Sorry, there's just like so much that you can do to take care of your needs.
Yeah.
Well,
Gosh.
Oh man.
the problem is like we're looking at power dynamics here. That's
Yes,
really that's really what it all like
I
boils down
know.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like honestly, like a lot of these fuckers believe that like, hey, I'm in a high enough position that guess what? Like you saying something about it puts your job in jeopardy long before it puts my job in jeopardy and shit like that. And what people need to realize is like, hey, like
True
someone's gonna
true justice is not going to care, how high on the ladder you are.
exactly exactly because like at the end of the day like what it all boils down to is, did you do something wrong? Like the person, for example, like the person that's reporting it is not the person that did something wrong. So like we can swing back real quick to the whole Bungie thing. The person that reported what was going on, they're not in the wrong.
Mhm.
you know Not in this case.
Yeah.
Just like the people who are reporting, like whenever they get harassed, assaulted, profiled, like freaking like just creeped out and stuff like that, like they're not the ones in the wrong. Like
I
maybe
wonder I wonder if they have retaliation policy. I mean, it's one thing to have policies and another thing to actually do them or go abide by them. But when I have
Mhm.
my annual BS training, I shouldn't say that, but my annual training with my corporate job, we read a lot about please reports, and then we have a zero retaliation policy. But
Mhm.
Guess what? We're in America. If I sexually harassed you, you reported it, I'll just fire you because just
I was 5 minutes
you know
late to
what?
a
I don't
meeting.
even need a reason to fire you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
I'm not even
Well,
gonna
yeah.
give you a
There's
reason,
there's there's a
and
sneaky
then you're
way.
gonna have
There's
to
a sneaky
prove
way of how
that.
like these terminations happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, because exactly there's a report about you doing this. Oh well, no, that person's just mad because I catch them being late all the time.
Yeah.
We should fire them. We should let them go right
Or
now.
you know what? I don't need the position anymore. Gone. Welcome to America.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just me. Not, I wouldn't say I'm naive. It's more like, wishful, ideal thinking, or maybe even normal people thinking. Not normal people thinking is different than corporate people thinking. I know I'm using really big adult words and sound super smart.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand why people are just like this on purpose, like why and I understand like the power dynamic and the power struggle, and everybody tries to do what they need to do to get ahead, but there's just I don't know. I guess thank God for the internet.
Mm.
Well, I mean, one thing's for sure. Like most of these people that do this stuff, like these are people who never had to take accountability for what they've ever done in their lives and stuff like that. Like if you look at it, there's a lot of people, like wow, like you know how you always hear like wow, I didn't expect Dave to be the person to do that,
Mhm.
and then when you look back at Dave's history, Dave wasn't properly disciplined as a child. Dave, never had anything bad happen to him when he was in high school and college and shit. Even though he was doing heinous shit to people and stuff like that. So like they run around thinking like, hey, like I get a hall pass no matter what the fuck I do.
Yeah.
Because notice only certain types of people like get like this, and I'm not even talking about skin color at this point. I'm not even talking about like gender either, because like there's some shitty women out there that do shit that because they never get caught, they never get held accountable for this shit until one day they get fucking held accountable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just be careful out there, everybody. Watch what people are doing.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Are there going to be negative consequences to whatever action that you're thinking about doing? If the answer is yes, you probably should not do it.
Hold on. We should be talking to the potential victims out there, because those are the ones, like, as more victims step up and say, "Hey, this is what the fuck is going on." This is how the shit changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get a lot more than just 5 people, resigning their post at Ubisoft. We'll get a lot more than 2 people like taking. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that early retirement.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I hate when people have to go through stuff like this, and
Yeah.
it's rough. Anybody have anything else to say on this topic before
Well,
we?
just on a fun note, when Stephanie was talking about like finding ways to get things done, there's a TV show right now called Generation V or Gen V, which is a spinoff of The Boys. And this last episode recently introduced a character named Tech Knight. And this is a guy that he has to basically, something has a hole, he basically has to fuck it.
Oh my gosh.
And so, like, there's several different weird scenes going on, including a post-credit scene where he's, like, drying his hands, and he's looking at the hand dryer in an interesting manner, and then he tries to, like, find a way to get his dick in it.
Yep, this is definitely an Eric Kripke show.
Oh, yikes.
Oh my gosh.
It's-
Just from that description alone, now I'm gonna start watching that show.
Oh, Gen V is awesome.
Wait, did you not watch any of season 3 of The Boys? Because there's there's an interesting scene in like the first episode of
No,
let
and
me-
it's not because I didn't like The Boys. I watched the first episode, and you know me, I don't watch a lot of TV, and I just I had to choose time for video games or time for TV. So
Yeah.
I stopped watching it because it's too gory for me.
I will say, Gen V right now has 4 episodes. 3 of those episodes have penis in it.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Like long dangly ones, or just kind of like a glance and disappear.
Hey, still better than anything that I got from Pub Encounter. So
I mean, there's big fat
We're
ones.
back on that again.
Was there a long dangly one? I'm trying to remember what the first penis. Oh no, the first penis wasn't even long, but the way they portrayed it was interesting. And then the one of the other penises blew up.
whoa, no way! Yes, this is my favorite show, and I haven't even watched it yet.
Oh boy, I'm so confused now.
Yeah, let's just say one of the scenes is a girl that can turn really small, and a guy with the big penis is like, or a guy with the small penis being like, "Isn't that the biggest thing you've ever done?" She's like, relatively speaking.
What's our next topic?
Okay, yeah.
Did she make it explode?
No, not that different scene, but that was.
Oh, we're done with the news now. What?
No, we're not done with the news. Ish.
We're not.
No. I want to talk about this thing real quick.
The last thing.
We talked about 2 things.
We didn't talk about the last
part of the
thing.
same.
I'm being too literal here with the script.
Be a part of us. Get with us.
Wow.
And do this last thing.
The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered has been found via a LinkedIn profile. Why do we keep remastering last generation games that already look amazing?
Because it's money.
The Last of Us Part
There. End of discussion. It's money.
The Last of Us Part 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn both look amazing still. And they're remastering, quote unquote, both of them.
Yeah, I'll admit this one is had me raise my eyebrow. Like even when they remastered Last of Us Part 1, I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know. It's just we've gotten so far with technology that I guess I can't imagine things getting any better. But
It's probably not going to be any better, but they're going to
here's
release it like 6 months before season 2 comes out.
oh,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is the answer. This is the answer I was going to have for The Last of Us Part 2. How many PlayStation 4s are available for sale now? Like brand new? Not very many.
What do you mean?
Like production is basically halted on those and stuff like that.
Don't say that. There's a Call of Duty
so-
bundle coming out for PS4 this fall.
Okay, yeah, that's because Sony knows it can make money off of Call of Duty. That's why. But
For now.
and that also answers the question right there. Like Sony knows they can make money off The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, I knew The Last of Us Part 2 was going to get like some either remaster or remake treatment because they remastered The Last of Us Part 1. It was just a no-brainer right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, But honestly, at the end of the day, it's all about money. It's all about money, and and my logical conclusion is also that it's getting a lot harder to find PlayStation 4s, than it is,
Well, you don't need a PlayStation 4 to play Last of Us Part 2. You
Yeah.
can still.
Can't you?
That's true. That's
Mhm.
true. But okay, let's think about this though. Let's think about this. Like we've got the average consumer. How many consumers go in and just buy stuff they buy a they buy a console for the first time and think they just can go right to a digital storefront and buy stuff. They usually continue to buy stuff like physical for like a hot minute before someone's like, oh, like digital, like sometimes you get it cheaper.
Mhm.
Get on the PlayStation Store or get on the Xbox Marketplace. Do they still call it the
Right.
Marketplace?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you're like the bottom line is it makes sense business wise. It makes zero sense anything else logic wise.
Yeah,
The
which
end.
I get that. I get that. I'm in the camp. I'm in the camp that sometimes like you should just leave shit alone. And stuff like
Mhm.
that. But here's another thing I will say, and this is me playing the ultimate devil's advocate right here. You know how we bitched at Sony about backwards compatibility and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. We somehow convinced Sony that we want to continue playing old games,
Yeah, but we don't want to
and
pay
not just
$70 for
Sony,
the old game
and not
again.
just Sony, because Nintendo's doing it, Microsoft's doing it to an extent.
But Nintendo
Microsoft's doing
adds
it
like
probably
Microsoft,
the
2
best
hours
way.
more content.
Well,
Huh?
that and they're not doing the hey, we're remastering Breath of the Wild. Like if
Well,
Nintendo did that,
Oh,
they are for the
what?
next Switch, apparently.
Yeah,
well, yeah, and
You
I would think
missed
that's
that.
and well, I didn't. I still consider it like rumor land where I don't really take it seriously.
This technically is a rumor.
Well,
Well,
okay.
okay, let's say it does happen. I also would raise my eyebrow at that. I'm not giving a Nintendo a pass.
If they made Breath of the Wild in like a 4K style,
I would bet they make like a quote unquote. I
I
don't. Here's the thing. I I I bet they released Breath of the Wild as a complete edition for the next console, but they showed it running at 4K at 60 frames, which it runs
Mhm.
on the Switch currently 900p and sub 30. So I don't know.
So how come
Or
games like
ray
these get
tracing.
remade? But then remember how Red Dead came? Like they brought Red Dead back, but they did nothing, almost nothing to it, especially for Switch.
Mhm.
Like how come that doesn't get like remastered? But
It
you know what
probably
I'm saying?
goes company to
that's
company.
based on what the developer wants to do.
Huh.
Like well,
Yeah.
the publisher wants to do. The publisher wants to get money, but the publisher doesn't want to dedicate assets, to make it which is
Yeah.
crazy because
Rockstar,
I
what'd you
forget- I
release this
forget-
year? Shit, we didn't release anything. What could we have? We have
Well,
Red
no,
Dead
it's not
Redemption.
well, no, it's not even that. Who runs
Take-Two.
Rockstar
Mhm.
and Take-Two? Who runs it?
Take-Two.
I mean,
Take-Two.
who is the CEO?
Strauss Zelnick.
Yeah, Zelnick said in a damn interview like 6 years ago. I think it's in Game Informer. He
Mhm.
said in an interview 6 years ago that the only time they will actually like think about remastering or re-releasing something is when they actually would take the time and put the effort into making it match the current hardware.
Mhm.
And guess what? I guess the current hardware was Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
I see what you tried to do there.
The other thing too is like Zelnick is very financially, he's really into like pinching pennies, and that's why he's considered one of the greatest CEOs out there, right? Like he put Grand Theft Auto out on 3 generations of consoles, and the only thing they did for the second time was add a first person mode, right? Everything
I
else
thought
was,
they up-resed it a little bit. Like it got one of the first graphic patches.
I mean, they did that, and I think it runs at 60 frames on Xbox One and PS4, but like that, I mean, that should be standard. By the way, if you're moving it and it's more powerful, you should at least up-res it and make it the frame rate smoother, right? Which, to be fair, Red Dead Redemption on PS4 did get a 60 frames patch this week.
Yeah, it did actually. It just I think this recently got
Yeah,
one.
because the physical game is coming out, and I think they want a lot of better buzz around the game when the physical version comes out. But I mean, I just think it's kind of ridiculous. It's almost like if I mean, I don't even know what another example would be, but The Last of Us 2, like Part 2, already looks amazing. Horizon Zero Dawn already looks amazing. They patched
A God of War remastered.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous too.
Like games in 2018, which I think The Last of Us 2 is what, 2016?
I thought The Last of Us was Part 2 was...
2018, I think. 2017. Because it
It
came
was
out with Ghost of
27... Really?
Tsushima. Maybe 2019. I think it was 2019 because it came out the same year as Ghost of Tsushima.
It's a
Oh no!
Tsushima remastered.
We're all wrong. It's 2020.
What?
Yeah.
But you know what? This is on brand because they remastered The Last of Us Part 1 literally a year later for PS4.
Yeah. But I think that was that was kind of ridiculous too, but also like I think that they are doing that to sell PS4s also, right? Because like that was at a launch of a console.
And a lot a lot of, for me, I've never had a PS3 because PS3 alienated me when it first came out. So I enjoyed having the remaster for Last of Us. It allowed me to play it.
Yeah, but also like the PS4 wasn't backwards compatible with the PS3 also, where the PS5 is, and they can patch the game like they did with Horizon, right? Horizon got a 60 frames 4K patch. Some other games did too. I can't figure it out off the top of my head. God of War got a patch, right? So just patch it. Like it's not like the game got DLC and you're just going to sell it for PS5 as a complete edition, right? Like if it had DLC, great. The only thing I could say is if they're going to remaster it, they better put that multiplayer mode that just got shelved on it.
Not happening.
I know it's not, but that would be like the only excuse I would say. Okay, maybe, but
They gotta use that new engine, brah. The one that they built for The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
And then they're going to use the exact same recording so they don't have to pay the voice actors to say lines.
Yeah, that's also a questionable thing. But I don't know. I just wanted to see if you guys thought this was ridiculous or not. Because I kind of think it is.
It is.
Business, I understand it, especially if they release it.
I can't say it's ridiculous. I can't.
That they're remastering The Last of Us Part 2?
No, I can't say that.
Explain yourself, sir.
I thought I already explained myself. Like they remastered The Last of Us within a year of it being out for the next console. Like I'm actually surprised they didn't do it sooner for The Last of Us Part 2, considering that it came out late cycle on PS4.
Yeah.
I thought they patched The Last of Us Part 2 though to be a 5th gen update.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so yeah, they want to they want to use their new engine though. I think that was the idea.
So they're just going to move the game to a new engine?
Yeah, like build it up from scratch, but
because
a lot of people say The Last of Us Part 1 actually the new one looked absolutely phenomenal. So I imagine like touching it up with the new engine would look amazing too. But honestly,
you gotta remember, Jason Schreier kind of like said last year about there was word that a director's cut of The Last of Us Part 2 was in development, and that caused the internet to try to burn shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about a director's cut. I don't think they do that.
I mean, that game is already too long. What are they going to add?
Oh, but maybe they'll change the outcome of that one character.
Doubt it. I mean, if they did, though, that would be an interesting twist and extend the show, maybe. Although I heard season 2 is going to be split into 2 parts. Like season 2 and season 3 is going to be all of Last of Us Part 2. Which tells me where I know where the season splits.
Why they do that?
Because
money.
HBO can do that because, what patch?
I mean, as long as they can give some good expanded stories like they did with Billy. Is it Billy?
Well, they better, because the first season was what, 9 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They better give me more.
Pretty standard for a streaming service to get you to subscribe for 3 months.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, do we want to hit the third topic, or do we want to answer a listener question?
Ooh, we have listener questions?
Just one. It actually came in last week, like right after we recorded.
Oh.
So, topic or question?
Let's start with question.
Question. Okay.
We'll see how long it goes.
As we inch closer to... Oh, this is from JT in the Discord. As we inch closer to 2024, what has been your games of the year in whatever genre you enjoy playing the most? So, i.e., esport game, fighting game, platformer, etc. Well, I can personally say that so far, quote unquote, I guess action RPG or action game with light RPG elements, I still think that Hogwarts Legacy is my game of the year.
Wow, okay.
I loved that game so much. It just really grabbed me. Just like living in that world. Like I keep forgetting, no pun intended, but how magical that world is, like the castle and flying on the broom and, no Quidditch, but maybe that'll be in a sequel somewhere, and just exploring this new story in this world that we all already know, and I think setting it like so far behind the movies and even even Fantastic Beasts, like you could do some interesting things without messing up the canon, which I know I wouldn't really care about that, but like a lot of people do care about canon. And so, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I think about that game often. Like I kind of still want to go back to it. It kind of reminds me of when like Breath of the Wild came out and like all anybody could think about was that game for years afterwards. That's kind of how I feel about Hogwarts Legacy.
I believe that you can go and get every single one of them achievements
I probably could if I went back and did it
4 times.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Hogwarts Legacy because I don't know. I was hyping my brain up, or hyping myself up. I don't anyway, hyping myself up for other games like Tears of the Kingdom and Final Fantasy 16, both of which are absolutely phenomenal games. And I have to be complicated, right? I view like my game of the year as a personal choice, and then just I try to think objectively what might be a game of the year. I do plan at some point to eventually download Baldur's Gate, just because everyone says that that's really going to be the game of the year, and I at least want to experience it. But so far, I mean, I've had just different arms of it. Like from a personal standpoint, I ended up really loving Resident Evil 4 remake way more than I thought I would end up loving it. Like I'm just so shocked that's how much I really love it. But you mentioned Hogwarts Legacy, and if I were to compare how a game exceeded my expectations, Hogwarts Legacy is up there as well, because for the reasons that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean Tears of the Kingdom was bad. It just it kind of met my expectations, but didn't blow anything out of the water.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16, I am so glad that's my first Final Fantasy, because it's more action oriented. I jived with it better, and I love the story, love the graphics, love the music. Like hits perfect notes. But like for something that just like blows just blow, I can't talk tonight. I just
Blew your mind.
blew my mind. Whatever like had the greatest sucker punch impact.
Yep.
It was Resident Evil 4 and Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm rambling.
I think the thing, we talked about this on an episode before, but I think the thing with Tears of the Kingdom was like, I really thought I wanted more Zelda, and like halfway through playing it, I was like, I don't know if I really needed more of this. And I think it was just because it was the same world, the same Hyrule with like little changes. Instead, like if it was a new world, I think I would have liked it a lot better than I did. Not that I didn't love it. I played 80 something hours of it. It's, it's not like I played for 2 hours and put it down, but I think that was my issue with Zelda. And then going back to Hogwarts Legacy, like this game came out of a studio that did Disney Infinity and Cars 3 and a bunch of, I would say, like single to double A licensed projects before this. And it just, I was shocked at how triple A this game really felt in a lot of different ways.
All right. Well, mine would be Final Fantasy 16. I went into this game with high expectations, and the game completely blew my expectations out
Ooh.
of the water.
Hold on a second, Pat. Hold that thought for a second. What was the original question?
The original question, let's find it. It was, as we inch closer to 2024, what has been your games of the year in whatever genre you enjoy playing most?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue, Pat.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm a huge RPG guy. So
What?
the genre would have to be RPG. But I played a shit ton of RPGs too. But Final Fantasy 16 was one that came in with high expectations, and it completely, like, it nailed those expectations and more. Like, that game was a visual masterpiece. The battles were all just, they felt, the icon battles in particular just felt absolutely amazing. The boss battles felt epic. The story was great. It was dark. It was very personal to the characters that, I kind of felt like Final Fantasy has been slightly lacking a little bit. Well, probably more in like, well, actually take that back. 15 was all about the personal relationship and not a whole lot about the world, but this one also introduced more of the world that was going on. And
May I
then,
ask, Pat,
yeah.
real quick, because it's on topic? I know the whole point of Final Fantasy is an epic story, but as far as epic visuals and like the icon battles, how's that shaken up compared to the previous Final Fantasy games? Like, would you say this is the most epic as far as visual design
In
and
terms of
or
visual designs, yes, this is definitely one of the most epic
Mm,
that I've seen.
okay.
Like, this is, it reminds me back when the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children came out on DVD, and you saw the battles, and you're like, dude, I would love to be able to play a battle just like this in a video game. And that's what we get for Final Fantasy 16, is watching those complete epic battles like unfold, but actually being a part of it. But that's not to say, like, every Final Fantasy I feel tries to push the boundary in those regards. Like, Final Fantasy VII was absolutely amazing at the time, but when you compare it to Final Fantasy IX on the same system, it's still night and day. And then you go to PS2, and it's, even further with like 3D models, that how it looked like every scene looked like it was a CG scene almost back then. Like, I don't know. It's each one keeps trying to push their systems to, the limit, and that's one of the cool things about Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I know a lot of people don't really care for like 13 or 15, but I actually really liked them a lot.
They're not bad. 15, my issue is the 15 was incomplete. Like, they had an actual, they weren't able to complete the story that they wanted to tell. The game, like, they wanted to have a whole, like, the world was only half complete also. The second half of the game that they rode by the train, that was also supposed to be open world.
Yeah.
And then the ending DLC, which actually told the true ending of the story and what actually was going on. Like, without that DLC, it's a completely different story.
Yeah. I mean, I played all of it before that kind of restructured ending came out, and all the like I played through the chapter 13 that everybody hated, right? Where you were kind of sneaking around as what's his face. And then
and
they
using the ring.
completely changed it with a patch. Like the whole level is different. So
Yeah, wasn't my favorite level, but
I didn't think it was. Everybody complained that it was too difficult, and I went through it in like the first I never died. I'm like, I don't understand why you think this is difficult. You're just dodging a big rolling ball that's coming at you. Like,
Mm-hmm. Nah, it's those ring mechanics. You have to. I forget even how those worked. I thought it was relying on your magic versus your regular attacks.
yeah.
Anyway,
LeRon, what about you?
Okay, so I haven't beaten a lot of games, but I have been playing quite a few games this year, and as far as like my overall game of the year contender, based off the games I've actually touched my hands on, it's probably gonna be Dead Space.
mm-hmm.
But I will say, Armor Core 6 Fires of Rubicon has been amazing from what I've played, and I cannot wait to jump back into it. Um, like I just feel like like we've had some stellar like games this year, as far as like storytelling and actual like gameplay, like even though I did begin like this entire like segment talking about I had to return a game because like shit wasn't right, but at the same time there has been some hallmark titles that have come out this year, from Hogwarts Legacy, down to like Tears of the Kingdom, to Final Fantasy 16, Dead Space, Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. Like there's been some wonderful games, that have come out this year. And I think, well, I know for me, it's a personal bias. The Dead Space story has just always been something I've always loved and stuff like that, and just the fact that like Motive Studio, like it's like gave it like some of the most tender loving care treatment, for something that all they really could have done was just they could have basically just like reskinned it and been like, hey, here you go, but they put so much detail into it. They added stuff in that would have been that for us who were playing the game series, back then, was extrapolated in sequels and stuff like that. They're already pulling some of the stuff in there because they found organic ways to make it work in the current story. The physics and the motion, the mechanics, and all that stuff. Like the way Isaac moves and reacts. The fact that Isaac actually talks throughout the game. As opposed to just being the silent protagonist and stuff like that. A lot of people, I don't know, they didn't really like it, but in my opinion, I was like, you know what, it makes me feel like I wasn't playing a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many like hallmark and key takeaways from it, and I think remaking Dead Space now with all that lore that's been out there and stuff for Dead Space, this is a wonderful time to do it and stuff like that. And also it gave the fans what they want. Like the game probably is not scoring high enough in Metacritic to win game of the year. But one thing's for sure, like this is how you do a remake. This right here is how you do a remake. Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2, and to an extent Resident Evil 3. That's how you do remakes. Even The Last of Us Part 1, which I've been playing. I played that for a little while on my on my ROG Ally. It made my ROG Ally chug, I'll tell you what. But yeah, that's how you do remakes and stuff like that. Like add tangibility to them. Elevate the experience, things like that. don't just don't just say, hey, like we're gonna re-release this game, we're gonna make it look pretty, but we're not gonna add any depth or anything new to it, stuff like that. And I'm not asking people to like just completely rewrite the entire story and stuff like that. Because like Dead Space remake, it didn't rewrite the story at all, but it enhanced the story to a magnificent degree, just like Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 4 remake and Resident Evil 3 remake. Like wow, like it's the survival horror games. Funny enough, that's doing it for us. As far as remakes are concerned, like all these remakes, in the survival horror franchise are phenomenal. They're doing the damn thing.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the
And
Silent Hill 2 remake. That's coming.
yeah, we are. But get ready for that Silent Hill like mini series,
The
Oh, yeah.
Ascension,
web series to come out.
Mhm.
Yeah, get ready for
Halloween.
that though. Yeah.
Make the
So
outcome.
honestly, I will say, like, even though like I've been kind of slow going in my playing of I'm sorry, Dead Space remake. Like I think like this is a game that's people are going to be talking about for years to come.
Mhm. Yeah. And before anybody in the comments complains that we just talked about remakes and how bad they are, we're talking about old games now, right? I mean, Resident Evil 2 is a PS1 game, right? And so it's time to remake that, right? But I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, I was
LeRon.
listening to a retro Nintendo 64 podcast, and I forgot that Resident Evil 2 was on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's the only
I was like,
version that
"What?"
mentions Resident Evil, like has a connection. It's the only version that has a connection to Resident Evil 0.
That's crazy. So, yeah.
Resident Evil 0, by the way, game's scary. Giant spiders.
Needs a-
I will.
It is.
That one
I
needs
will
a
never.
remake.
I will never play that
It
one.
is.
Mm-mm.
Resident Evil 0? That's
Nope.
not bad.
Leeches? No.
Leeches, centipedes,
It
spiders.
it has also key to
Bats.
the whole umbrella thing.
Yeah.
It's key.
I don't care. I will watch a Let's Play with funny people narrating and making noises, so I'm not scared.
Oh man, it's nuts in there. But anyways, what do you say we get out of here, everybody? I think that sounds good.
All right.
Let's
I
do
want
it.
to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. You can subscribe, share, rate, review on your favorite podcast service or on YouTube. While you're there, subscribe, leave us a rating, all that stuff. Comment on the video. LeRon, Pat, Stephanie, thank you for your time tonight, as always. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, until next week, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Be wonderful.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/BossRushMedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.